Okay.
All right. Well, hello all. This is Coach Brad with Action Coach. I'm here with Russ with Rockwall School of Music. Russ, how you doing today?
Yeah, doing great today.
Good deal. So thank you for being on and being interviewed with us as a local member of the Rockwall business community. So why don't you just take a minute and just tell me a little bit about Rockwall School of Music?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Well, we're excited to be able to be a part of our community for the last 22 years. And so we provide private and small group music classes for students of all ages. We have a preschool program for toddlers and preschoolers, all the way up through children, teenagers, adults, and even senior adults. So we really do provide lessons for all students of all ages and all skill levels. So we've been around here in a staple in the Rockwall community for 22 years now, and have right at 600 students that come through for weekly lessons. Of course, right now, their weekly lessons are all online, virtual lessons. But as the governor opens up phase 2, which is anticipated to be later this month, then we will continue to offer online lessons for those who prefer to do that. But then our in-person lessons will resume the week of the 26th, right after Memorial Day.
That's awesome, Russ. And I know you just moved into a brand new, pretty brand new building. Was it earlier this year or late last year?
It was right at a year ago, April of last year. Yes,
That's
we moved
man. Time flies. Time flies. So let me ask you. So you say you've been in business north of 22 years, north of 20 years.
Right. Yes.
So let me ask you, who do you serve really? I mean, we call it a target market, but who is your best client?
Sure. Most of our families have school age students, whether it's elementary, middle school, or high school age. That's the bulk of the students that we serve. So kind of families that fall into that category, although an up and coming group of people that we're starting to serve are the empty nesters who finally have time for themselves once their children are off at college or off at work, as well as senior adults, maybe some senior adults who lived in another part of the country and have moved to the Rockwall area to be closer to their adult children. And they are looking for something to keep their mind engaged and activated and maybe to fulfill a lifelong passion they've always had as well. So really people who just love music, no matter what kind of music it is or what instrument. Piano has always been our most popular instrument to teach, but guitar, voice, all the orchestral instruments, the violin, viola, cello, bass, ukulele, drums, all of those lessons are taught here at the School of Music.
That is awesome. I know that I toured your building last year, and we mentioned I was with you on a call late last week, and I saw the cool little drum set, one of the drum sets you got in there, and my wife doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to be a drummer before long, so I'm looking forward to satisfying that teenage bucket list item. So, so what has been the greatest impact that the COVID crisis has had on your business?
Well, all of our lessons have always been taught in person. And so once we came back from spring break, actually right before spring break, we started catching, wind of what was happening in the New York on the East and West Coast. And we have friends who have music studios in those areas and saw how they were impacted. So we started preparing. We thought we would have kind of a little bit of time after spring break to phase the online lessons into place. But it happened a lot faster than we anticipated. And as soon as they shut things down, which was the latter part of March, then we immediately picked up and contacted Zoom and switched all of our lessons just basically over the course of a weekend, all online. So we were able to make that happen very quickly. And so that was the biggest impact, just going from our building being thriving in the afternoon and evening hours with people and hearing music lessons going on and instruments of all types to just total silence here in the building. But all of the lessons were taking place virtually through our teachers.
Okay, so you were able to kind of foresee what was coming down the road, and though it happened a little bit quicker than we all anticipated, you were able to pivot your business and take it online. So were there any special logistical requirements you had to work through? I know you got multiple instructors and multiple sites. Do your instructors still come into your studio, or are they doing this from home as well?
All of the teachers are teaching their lessons currently online from another remote location. Most of them have a studio or a practice room for themselves to keep their skills current and moving forward. So most of them are just using their in-home studio to teach the online lessons. So there hasn't been anybody here in the building except my wife and I just to field calls and emails and do some administrative things over these last several weeks. A lot of parents are really enjoying the online lessons, so we will continue to offer that. Some of the parents are like, we are so over with the online stuff because of schoolwork and everything else, so they can't wait till they're able to come in later this month and do the in-person lessons.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's going to be real interesting to watch, as we go forward and things start to get phased in, reopening here, is how much of these changes that have kind of organically made their way as part of our lives are going to stick around. And I think we're going to be a lot more virtual going forward. And so I think what you're seeing is probably going to be what we're going to see, at least in some degree.
Sure. And I see that there's a lot of value in now that we have gotten accustomed to doing online lessons, because we have a lot of families, say for instance, will have more than one child that comes for lesson. Well, if one of their children is homesick, then they have to cancel the other child's lesson because the parent can't leave the sick child at home. But now we can just say, no worries, just let them hop on to their laptop or iPad and they can still have their lesson, even though they're at home. One family member might be ill and the other one might not normally be able to take their lesson, but now they can through online. So there's just going to be a lot of options. We've had a lot of families through the years who have moved away. And one of the things they always say is they're just going to so miss having lessons with their teachers. Well, now, until they find a new teacher in their new location, they can continue to do online lessons remotely with our teachers. So I think it's going to really give us some great ways to expand our business model and continue to teach in-person lessons. I feel like that'll be the bulk still of what we do, but having the option of incorporating online lessons when needed will certainly be a great asset as well.
Yeah, so that's really cool, Russ. So you've and a lot of people, and rightfully so, when this thing hit, and we've never been through anything like this before, so everybody kind of retreated into self-preservation mode. But there's a select few businesses out there that really did see this as an opportunity, and sounds like you're gonna be able to come out of this with perhaps an expanded business model, which is kind of cool.
I think so. Yeah. Very
cool. Okay, so interesting question. So it's been said, smart people learn from their mistakes, and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So can you kind of walk me through some of the mistakes that y'all have made and kind of how other entrepreneurs, business owners might be able to learn from Rockwall School of Music?
Well, okay. Let's see. Probably one of the mistakes that I learned was that I tend to have a lot of organizational skills, and I felt like I could cover it all, which I can cover a lot of things, but when a business owner, especially a small business owner, tries to do too much yourself and doesn't delegate it or feel comfortable releasing things so that you can multiply yourself in a way. Early on, I just kept saying, I shouldn't have to pay somebody to answer the phones. I can do that. I shouldn't have to pay somebody to do all those administrative things that I can do and I enjoy doing because it's part of my people, connecting with people that I enjoy. But at the same time, I realized eventually that if I had someone else that could do as good of a job or even better than I do in answering the phones, that would free me up then to do things that only I can do for our business, such as working with marketing, hiring teachers, organizing the types of lessons, kind of brainstorming with others to foresee in the future what types of lessons and what kind of mediums we're going to need to provide lessons. So, if just thinking about this COVID-19, if I had still been in the mode of, I can do it all, I can answer the phone, I can do the scheduling, I can do all these things, I never would have had time to have been more of a visionary of seeing, hey, this thing's getting ready to hit Texas. And when it does, we're going to have to make a fast pivot to online lessons. And I never would have really had time to do the thing that was going to be our survival line for our business, because I would have been too tied up into the small details of the business. So once we took the step and hired some really quality office people, they've just been a lifesaver for us. They were able to work remotely during these last few months from their house to still keep things going, the administrative things going, and we could then work with still hiring new teachers, planning how we're going to move forward once we do get the the green light for phase 2 to start. So I guess the biggest thing, just in summary, was that, trying as a business owner, trying to do too much of it myself, and not delegating it and finding quality people that can take care of a lot of the time consuming things that are very important. But there's some things only a business owner can do for your business. And I needed to focus on that. And I've learned that from mistakes.
That's really awesome, Russ, that you come to that realization. You're a seasoned business owner, and I've a lot of my clients are seasoned business owners into 15, 20, 30 years in business, and still haven't grasped that particular nuance of improving their business through improving their team. And congratulations for seeing that. That's great advice for business owners out there. Second to the last question. So I have your email address and your website and your phone number. Is there anything you'd like to include to the viewership out there, like any special offers you got going on, any special services you got going on, anything you want people to know?
Sure. Right now we are offering a kind of an introductory packet of 8 lessons. So, some people are just like, well, I'm not sure if music lessons are going to work for me, but I'd like to try it. It's been a lifelong kind of a hidden dream that they have. So we have a packet of 8 lessons. It's normally $310 for all 8 lessons. It's $269. So it's a special offer that we're offering right now. So whether it's a child, an adult, whomever that wanted to do private lessons, they could just give us a call at our phone number, 972-722-6874, or send us an email to office@rockwallmusic.com, and we can give them all the details. It'd just be a matter of knowing what instrument they want to take and figuring out what day works best for them, and then we can give them options and get them on the schedule. So that's the best offer that we have right now. It's the 8 introductory lessons.
Very cool. Very cool. So, all right, last question. Tell me what's most inspiring to you today.
All right. I still love it when students walk in the doors, and you can tell coming to our School of Music is the highlight of their week. In fact, so many of the parents have told us when we started having to move to online lessons, they said, we're so grateful that our students can still take lessons, even though it is online, because everything else in their life has been canceled. Their school's been canceled. Their after-school curricular activities have been canceled, swimming and gymnastics and dance and some of those things. And they're like, but music, you've provided a medium for us to continue music lessons. And that's one thing that keeps my child smiling and looking forward to that one thing of connecting with their teacher. And so to hear those kinds of stories, because I grew up in a small town in Arkansas, and music was the thing that really kept me going as a young boy. It wasn't sports; those were things that I supported and I enjoyed going, but that just wasn't for me to participate in. And so, knowing how much joy music brought to me individually, and when I see that same joy being expressed through the words and the smiles of people who come in and talk to us on the phone, it just motivates me to no ends. That's
awesome. It's got to feel good too. So, Russ, thank you so much for sitting in this interview with us and kind of, just being an example and a leader in the Rockwall business community. And for those out there watching this, if you've not visited Russ and his team, I highly encourage you. They're great, phenomenal people, and probably can learn a little bit about music, I'm sure. So, Russ, thank you so very much.
Sure. All right. Take care.
Take care.
Okay. Bye.